Hello guys. Uh, Today let us see a lot of examples, the samples I have right now. We will start with uh, office supply, which is one of the database which we have, and we will start working on the pivot. And I will try to explain you what kind of pivot, what kind of presentation we can give, and how this can be represented and how the column, the rows can be modified, and how what way we can present this data in a simplified manner. So let's start. So let me open. I'm using Excel 2016, and this is a very simple data of office supplies, and these are the order dates. And let me explain you about the data what we are going to analyze today. So this is going to be the order dates, and there are three regions: Central, Eastern, and West. And these are the representatives. And there are 3 to 5 set of items, just like pen sets, the binders, and pencils, and desk. And these are the number of units which they have sold in each region by each representative. And these are the unit price of each unit. So let us start with the pivot. So how to create the pivot? Just I will give you a basic outlook of how we are going to present the pivot. So this can be some set of data should be selected first. So let us select the data from whatever range we were going to present it in the pivot. So only those columns you can select. So let me select only these for the example as of now, and go to the insert and click on the pivot button. So here there are two parts which we need to look at. So first one is the range which we have selected right now, so it will be shown as the dotted lines. And the second part is going to be the new worksheet. So it can be created, the pivot table will be created in a new worksheet, or you want to create it in an existing worksheet, just like in the column H or something like that, in the same sheet itself. So for now, let us start with the new worksheet. Press OK. So here you will find the pivot table fields. Whatever fields which we have selected, those headers will be listed over here. One basic rule is if there is any column without a header, the pivot will throw an error saying like without the header we cannot create the pivot table. So that is the basic rule. So let us have the order date, region, representatives, item, and units. So we are going to see what these 4 items are going to be. So just like the filters which we normally do it over here, already I've filtered it. If you want, the shortcut is Control Shift and L. I have removed it. I have just put it again. So anyway, like you can want to filter it just like central zone, who is the representative, for example Alex, and how many units he has sold and what item he has sold. So binder, there are two binders, and he has sold 11 items and 94 items. And in central region, these are in 2 different dates, right? So this kind of filtering we can do it, but to do it in a pivot, it is much simpler way. So let us go by the region first. Click it and drag it on the rows. So the way we want to see it, it can be in the rows or it can be in the column. So central, east, west, and there are blank rows also. I will tell you how we can eliminate that one, and the grand total. Okay, so then coming to the representatives, pull it in the row. So this is, you have to plan in such a way that the lesser the columns, it would be easier to view, and more the rows, it would be easier to analyze. So always keep the rows lengthier rather than the columns. So now we have the two set of uh, criterias which we need to analyze. So Alex, the representatives are here. So the regions are here. Now what do we want? We want the item. Correct. Let us put it in the rows. So under each person, you can find the units, the items which they've sold. So now I have to see how many items they have sold under the vendor. So units, that will also come under the rows. So here you can see like there are 11 binders over here and 94 binders over here, but you would be confused which region it belongs to. So if you bring this item to under the region, it will not be final. It will not be fine, right? So let us keep it here, item. So without item, you will not be knowing what item they have sold and in which region, right? So what we would be doing it as, let us do one more thing. So to present it in a better manner, let us bring the regions also in the row. So now you are seeing everything in one single column. Can you differentiate it? No. But still we can see it is a central region. Under that, Alex the representative has sold the binder. There are two different binders, and which under which order date that you can bring. Okay, so this is how we can present uh, the in a simpler way. So, but it is not properly aligned, or you cannot guess what is happening. So for that one, you need to go to the design and you need to see how we can present it in a very easy way. So we have three forms of presenting it in the pivot table. So one is compact, that is what we are right now. So if you can select compact, it will be in the normal. So this is the default format. So outline, if you go, there will be all these things will be blank, and you would be seeing four different columns. So region, representatives, and the one difference which you can see is, see here everything will be same, but it will not be grouped here over, but here it will be all grouped. So under Alex you can find binder, there are two items, two sales, and under pen sets you would find one, and pencils you would find two. Okay, so to show in a more easier way, you can go to the report layouts and show it as a tabular form. Tabular and outline is nothing different. So tabular will be having more grid lines. Let me show you. Show in tabular form. So let us show in the tabular form. So all these clumsy things are looking just because of the subtotals. You can remove the subtotals for now. I'll show you how to work on the subtotals later further. So now you can see under central all these representatives who sold all these products and how many times they have sold. That is also seen. So for clear understanding, if you want, you can get the dates also over here. So put it over here, and I'll come to the dates part later, because that is bit which we need to see in detail. So for now, let us stick on to these four items itself. Okay, so that is how it is going to be. And now this is what, like so you can see the region representative under which you can, they have sold this much, all those things. So everything is coming under the row. So what we can do with the column? So for example, if you want to group it in quarters, or if you want to group it by months, you can pull it over here, the order date alone, and you can see years. So by default, when you drag any of the date formatted columns or the data inside any of the pivot fields, it will automatically take the year, quarters, order date. This is the basic field which we were having. So whether we have to have this year or not, which we can decide. So when I move the year, you can see quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, but it will not say which year it is. So for that one, we need to have a column header called year. So under uh, under 2014 and 2015, so you would be seeing the quarters over here. So all the data would be presented over here, and if you want, you can uh, expand it and collapse it. So in 2014, you have quarter 3, and quarter 3 alone you have, and quarter 4 over here. And if you expand this one also, you will see July, August, September, October, November, December. Automatically this will be formatted. Okay, so this is how we can project, and for now let us stick on to the order dates alone. So order dates will be coming under the month here. Okay, so now I want to see like how many units they have sold, that has come over here. So now I have to see something in the values. So who has sold it, that can be represented in a different way. See, for example, and in March, pen set 50 pen set has been sold by Alex in which month? So this is March. And when you go to this column, what else he has sold? In the western region, James has sold on the same date, on the same month. So similarly, this person, James, has sold pencil also 56 units in the month of March. So you can calculate how many uh, sales in the month of March like this. So how many representatives have sold, and what is the maximum number they have sold also. So you can see the 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and all those things you can see in the September. So this is one way of representing. And if you want to show it in a different way, if you say sum, because this doesn't have any numerical values, so better to have it as a count. So it counts the number of representatives who sold it in the particular month. Okay, so let us take one column which is a numerical column. So you have units, right? Let us put the units over here, and it will give you the counts. And if you select value settings and go to the sum, it will give you the sum, that is the number of units which they have sold, which Alex has sold, binders, and in which month. So 11 items has been sold by Alex in the central region in the month of November, and in the month of December he has sold the same binder of 94, right? So now this unit over here in rows is not valuable. So now you can see Alex, how many binders he has sold. It will be in the rows, in the same row, right? This is going to be the total number of units he has sold. And similarly, pen set he has sold in the month of March, and rather he has not sold anything else later, so that total is coming over there, right? So this way you can present a lot of things. So similar way, if you want to see what is the total count of Jan month's sale, so 191 total sales has happened by all the representatives in all the region, right? So to, in fact, like if you want to remove this blank, So there is no blank at all, right? So for that one, you can remove it. So just go here, remove the blanks. That's it from the item. If at all anything is going to be there, that will also come. At times that is also calculated 1 or 2 or 3, whatever it may be, based on your scenarios. And this can be presented in a neat way. Let us go in deep with the same data. Okay, so I don't want to see these blanks, and I want to present 0 in case of the blanks, and I want to see all the names to be repeated and all the centrals to be repeated, the region. There is a reason why I'm telling you this. Okay, so let me first show you how that can be represented, and then we can move ahead uh, with the reason. So when you right click on that one, on the pivot table, so you would be seeing pivot table options and field settings. These two are very important thing. So as I was telling you, I don't want to see any blank rows. You can go here for empty cells, show. It is, as of now, it is blank. You can give any values. It can be 0, it can be a dash, or whatever it may be. Rather, I will put it dash. And dash means 0 in the pivot. That is what I wanted to show you. Okay, any value you can paste it over there. And again, going here, go to the pivot table option, and a lot of things are there under the tabs, so you can explore if you want. So for better presenting, you can you can make it as center. So the entire thing is going to be central region, so the entire one. So automatically there will be a highlighted uh, line would be there, so that it would be easily differentiable. Okay, so this is how you can give. And here again, like Alex has sold 3 items, and similar way Morgan has sold 3 items, and if something more, see, this James has sold 4 items. So everything will be clubbed together and will be presented. But when you see, he has not sold anywhere or everywhere, so there may be data, but the rest all can be shown as 0. Okay, so this is one of the way you can present it. So again, I'm repeating you, it is in the pivot table options and merge and center field. Okay, so similarly, uh, you can go to the grand totals. There are 2 ways: either you can do it from here or from the analyze uh, menu also. And this is more in the display settings. So if you normally, this classic pivot table will not be enabled. So this would, what it would do is, if you click this one, you will see a blue outline, and you can, if you want to have central region to be at the bottom. Okay, so otherwise I want east to be at the top. You can click it and drag it over there. So this possibility will be available only under the classical pivot table option when you go to the display and click the classical pivot table layout. Okay, again, display field captions. This is another filter drop down. So when you see here, you'll be seeing the filters over here, right? So that can be removed by just removing that one, and this will see somewhat more neat. So we know what is the east, central and west, so it is going to be the region. And of course we are talking about the representatives sales or something like that. So we know these are the representatives and these are the products, of course we know, and it is more simpler. And if you want to explain more in detail, let that be there. Display the field captions and field drop downs. And as I was telling you, you can group it. Let me show you first. So if I press the collapse button. This is the called the collapse and expand button. If you click this one, only East will be there. I cannot see any of the representatives or any of the products they have sold. Similarly, you can collapse this also and collapse this also. So this will be very crunched data which will show only the regions. After going to the regions, if I want to see only East, under East, who are the representatives and what they have sold, all those things you can see. So if it is going to be more number of rows, then you can club this in a very better manner so that it will be easier for everyone to see. So for analyzing just only East, somebody will be concerned only for East. The region head may be looking after only the East. So in that way, you can club a lot of things over here. Okay, so at a time, and if as I told you, there may be more rows. To do it all at once, you can right click here and do a collapse and expand over here the entire field, expand or collapse. So if you do one thing, it will automatically become together. And again, right click, expand or collapse, expand the entire field. So similar way you can do it for this alone. Right click, expand, collapse the entire field. So only these people's name would be there and the items will not be shown. Again, if you want to see only how much Nick has and what he has sold, you can check it again. So a lot of play around things are there. So this is how you can do it. So I was explaining about the pivot table options. Let's come back to that one and this display. So this is how the show, expand and collapse button will work, right? If you don't want to do that, you can simply uncheck it and keep it so that they will be able to see only this one. This is going to be a dashboard presentation. If you want to copy, just copy it, and anywhere if you want, you can paste it in the email body or in the Microsoft Word format or something like that. You can paste it and send it. So again, pivot table options and display and show and expand buttons. So we have covered everything over here, and rest all you'll be able to see in depth in the later chapters or whenever we are going to analyze in depth. Okay, now let me tell you about the field settings also. So field settings is something like where we want to see this East to be repeated. So this is a good presentation, but if you want to copy and paste it in somewhere else to do some kind of more manipulations, see, this was the base data, right? Let me unfilter it. This is how you unfilter everything. So this kind of data was something different, right? And here we have presented in a different manner. For every pivot, it creates an image data which by itself is a table. I mean to say, like, even if you delete the base data, the pivot has its own data. Let me do one thing. Just delete it. I will just control, let me cut it and let me open it in a new Excel, put it over there just for my reference. Okay, so there is no data over here, but still you will be seeing all the data over here, and it is just not a copy. If you want to do anything, still you will be able to see its own data inside. Okay, so it has its own cached data or a table, mirror table inside Excel itself. So let me undo it. Okay, so it came back to here. So if you want to see that one, Um, let us go back to the field settings. So when you see that one, and we will be having this kind of set which can be used in some other um, analysis or something like that. Okay, let me expand this to explain you more clearly. Sorry, expand the entire thing. Here also I'll expand the entire field. Okay, now I have a set where I'm going to copy this and use as a base data for something else. Okay, I'm copying this and going to the new Excel sheet and pasting the values. Just pasting the values, and I can do manipulations over here. A lot of presentations I can do in my one way. Okay, so again, like I can recreate a different set of data itself, but this is redundant. I never know who has sold pen and who has sold which region they have sold, right? So for to eliminate these kind of blanks and redundancy, what I'll be doing is let me go here again. I want to repeat it every time. So East has to repeat every time and Nick has to repeat every time against the binder and the pen. So right click, go to the field settings, go to the layout and print, repeat item labels. Okay. So this will not show anything because our design layout is in compact. Okay, let us go in a different way. Field settings, repeat item. Okay, and let me show in the outline view. It can be in outline view or show in the tabular view. It will be like this. If I show it in the outline view, this is going to be the way. So you will see a bolded representative name, bolded region's name, everything, but everything is blank over here, right? So I can copy these items. Still, what will happen? I would not be able to do anything because I don't have the counts over here. So I will have the subtotals. Show all subtotals at the bottom of the group or at the top of the group. Anywhere if you want, you can do it. Let me show you at the bottom first. So East and East total will be here. So it will total the entire Jan months under the East. Similarly, under Central region, it will total, subtotal and give it to you under the subtotal. Similarly, at the West region. And the grand total, of course, it will also be there. And if I want to show it on the top, it will be on the tops. Okay, so East bolded with the subtotals over the top and is the grand total. So this way you can show any number of subtotals. Again, coming to the grand total, you can either show only the column or the rows, or you can off both. Let me off both. So if you want to see only Jan to December, I don't want to do anything with the grand totals. So it will be blank either way. Okay, and now coming to the grand total again on the rows and columns both. Let me show you the difference of rows alone. So these are the rows, and rows grand total will be shown here, and there will be no grand total of the columns. And if I want to see only the columns, row will not be shown, only the grand total of the columns will be shown. So this way you can show however you want to present that. This is a blank row. Inside a blank row, if you want to differentiate between the one representative and the other representative, much easier view of all the data, right? So these are the different types of how you can show your data. And of course, sorry. Okay, so now we got these things, and let me show you the uh, column headers also. Let it be there, printing, sorry, display, and show the head captions. So region, representative, items, and the months. So if I am going to copy all these things and press paste it in a different sheet itself, it will be there. This is a new set of data where you can, this is not a pivot again, this is a raw data with a lot of data according to the month. So this way you can create a new outlook of given data, pre preparing a pivot and presenting in a different way. So this is something about the basic office supplies which we were seeing. Let us explore the sample of the other data sets soon with the next video. Keep liking and keep subscribing to my channel, and let us meet soon. Thank you. Bye bye.